border issues. Wednesday, April 30th, 2008, edition of the San Diego Union-Tribune. Top left article with a Mexican Army Humvee on the cover. Was a picture. After the slayings of at least 13 people in Tijuana, Baja California officials vow to combat a surge in violence. Quote, "We are going to win this battle and purge our state of criminals," by Sandra Dibble. So Tijuana, as hundreds of soldiers and police officers stood in formation outside City Hall yesterday, top federal, state, and municipal officials urged intensified measures to bring criminals to heel in a city rattled by violence. 3 days after a gun battle between rival gangs killed at least 13 people, the officials called for measures including increased federal operations and demanded that radio and TV stations refrain from playing ballads called narco corridors, that they say lionize drug lords. "We are going to win this battle and purge our state of criminals," said Baja California Governor Jose Guadalupe Osuna Milian. A top federal public security official, Facundo Rosas, announced that federal police forces assigned to the state are being increased to 650 officers, a rise of nearly 60%. The head of military forces in the state, General Sergio Aponte Polito, announced stepped-up coordination and support. Yesterday's meeting was in response to the state's struggles with a surge in violent crime, even as President Felipe Calderon's government has increased enforcement on Mexico's northern border, and civilian and military forces have made numerous arrests and seizures in Baja California. Analysts and law enforcement officials have linked the violence to the weakening of once powerful cartels. Law enforcement efforts have hit the economic base of organized crime and are leading to an imbalance, Aponte said. He said that the imbalance is causing the leaders of criminal groups to carry out kidnapping and robberies of ATM machines, trying to obtain economic resources so they can pay the members of their criminal cells. Saturday's violence is being attributed to confrontations between criminal groups, but law enforcement authorities are not openly discussing the reasons. One law enforcement official with knowledge of organized crime groups in the region confirmed widespread reports yesterday that the bloodshed was a result of fighting within the Arellano Felix cartel. The violence grew out of an effort by the cartel hierarchy to better control the operation of an increasingly powerful crew leader named Teodoro El Tío Garcia Semedal, said the official, who spoke on condition of anonymity because his agency had not authorized him to speak. The shooting was either an ambush or a meeting between Garcia's group and another cartel faction that degenerated into an armed free-for-all, the official said. When the battle was over, officials found dozens of weapons, 1,500 spent shell casings, and several wounded people in addition to the dead. Officials yesterday spoke of recent successes as well as challenges. Federal police agents rescued 4 kidnapped victims early yesterday, 3 men and a woman, Rosas announced, offering few details. The military trumpeted the discovery of a house where they seized weapons. Ammunition, and 3 late-model pickups, one with blood and bullet holes, that had been linked to Saturday's shootouts. Here's a great little picture. A guy pushing a car with all these old soldiers. Also yesterday, members of the Association of Downtown Tourist and Business Owners took out a half-page ad in the daily newspaper El Mexicano, thanking Osuna and Ramo Moreno Manjueres, the Attorney General, for the liberation last Saturday of a kidnapped association member. Yet just a few blocks from yesterday's ceremony, Tijuana's General Hospital remained under military guard and non-emergency appointments were canceled for the second day as doctors treated 8 suspects wounded in Saturday's confrontation. Dozens of soldiers and police protected the installations of the Federal Attorney General's office, charged with investigating the shootouts. Yesterday's meeting comes during a particularly turbulent period for Tijuana, Baja California's largest city. This month, 3 federal police agents from Mexico City were found tortured and killed. Nearly 2 weeks ago, physicians demanded stronger government action following a rash of kidnapping and extortion attempts against members of their profession. Last week, Aponte published a letter in local newspapers accusing specific police officers of cooperating with organized crime. Experts said Calderon's actions have had an effect on criminal groups. Jorge Chabat, a political analyst from the Mexico City-based research group CIDE, said that Calderon's government has taken unprecedented action against the cartels, targeting not just the leaders but also mid-level operators. There's going to be continued violence for a while as the cartels are reorganized during this process of fragmentation, Chavez said. But in the long run, the smaller, weaker groups will be less violent and easier to control, even as they continue smuggling drugs to the United States, he said. At yesterday's meeting, Osuna joined Aponte and the other officials in pushing for continued background checks of police forces in the state, advocating stronger prevention programs in schools and criticizing narco corridos. Osuna called for a great social alliance for the peace and security of our state. Roberto Quijano, Q-U-I-J-A-N-O, so Quijano, president of the business group Corpomex, said no single measure can solve the state's law enforcement problems. We feel that it's very important for those responsible for security to sit together at a single table, he said. This was not the first time that law enforcement forces pledged unity against organized crime, but in the past, political differences were obstacles to cooperation, said Tonatu Guion, president of the Colegio de la Frontera Norte, a Tijuana research group. His first name is T-O-N-A-T-I-U-H. But last year's near sweep of Calderon's National Action Party, or PAN, in Baja California's gubernatorial and mayoral elections has improved communication. The key to change will be the restructuring of law enforcement agencies, Guion said, not just the removal of corrupt officers. So, good job, Mexico, for moving in the soldiers and just taking a stand and really not letting the crime people take over. So I don't remember, Tijuana is just south of San Diego, and huge traffic that goes on there. A lot of people coming and going, a lot of American traffic, a lot of American tourists. It's in general a safe place, and there are the American areas, the places that the American tourists can go and they'll basically be protected and safe. Something else is that for like parking violations, you ran a stop sign. If anything happens like that down in Mexico, especially along the border area, the police are supposed to have swipe card readers, and what they do is they'll basically take your credit card or an ATM and you swipe it, and that pays your fine. So that way it removes a lot of the bribe and graft. So the cop can still potentially say, "Oh, hey, you did this or that," and that way you're only paying $20, not $30, or you're not just slipping the guy $20 and he's keeping it all. So that's part of the way it's helping. But yeah, there's some problems, and good thing Mexico is taken care of.